Hey, this is Blake Sloan. I've been selling real estate over 14 years, and our team of highly trained professionals, along with our unmatched marketing, has sold thousands of homes here in the Myrtle Beach area, and this is how we do it.
That's the gap for most people. In anything, right? We all know what to do. The problem is a lot of times we don't do it. And it's a muscle, is what we talked about, right? Tell me more about that. What do you guys remember about that?
You gotta flex it.
What's that?
You gotta continue to flex that muscle.
You gotta keep using it, right? Over and over and over. The less you use it, the less it's gonna be. I went back in the gym doing our body today. I didn't get to do last week because I was sick. And guess what? Harder. I was weaker. It was harder. I didn't do as much. I could feel weaker because just like my physical muscle, our willpower is the same exact way. And so the only way to do that where you can strengthen that is day in, day out consistently. Just like going to the gym. You can't go to the gym for 3 months and be diesel. Been going to ISI for what, 4 years now? Every day. And so the reality is you got to do it the same exact way to be able to get there. It's much easier to sleep in, but the reality is the willpower is built on that. And that's what helps go over into the business part of life too. And if you remember last week I shared those two scientific examples of what? You remember what that was?
The coffee stories, the
Starbucks.
The Starbucks study, right? In regards to how that worked, and also the two scientists who did the difference in life once they worked out every day or put in a weight management program, whatever you want to call that. What they do? They drank less, smoked less cigarettes, ate better, because the awareness of them making that investment. Then they tested that and they thought, well, that's maybe just because they're working out, now they feel better, they're happier. And that was also the result, they were happier. So they did a separate study, which was what?
It was
Money management, right? And it started out, they couldn't even manage, they couldn't even write down what they were spending their money on. It's how unorthodox and how undisciplined they were. And as if you remember, then they could write it down, then what happened once they wrote it down?
They were able to see it.
They saved much money, and they had the same exact effect as the discipline of the working out group. They smoked less cigarettes, drank less alcohol, ate better food, were happier. Wow, it's just humans, it's how we are, right? And so if I can have this willpower muscle in one part of our life, guess what it automatically does? And that was the overwhelming result from those studies, was that it bled over into other parts of life, right?
Yeah.
And so what was the tool that we talked about that does it? Core 4, right? And so what's that?
body, being, balance.
All right, so break it down for somebody else that's Joe.
Did I sweat today?
Right, that's one part, and what does that mean?
Did you get up and work out and get your body moving?
That's a habit.
You know,
And so we get the point for that. And so in our body, we get 1 point. Obviously for that day, the goal is to get 4 a day times 7 days equals what? 28. And so the goal is to get 28. It's a way for us to gamify what we're doing in life. It's a way for us to gamify what we're doing. It's a way for us to gamify what we do every day, right? The problem with most people is they'll do what?
Make excuses.
They'll do all this for 1 or 2 days, and what happens?
They stop.
Tiffany, what
No,
happened?
I'm still going.
You are, you are?
No, I swear to God, yeah. Look at this is the greenest ass smoothie. No, I'm down.
So good. The reality
Because I usually fall off the bed, so.
That's the thing, is you got to make sure that you're sticking with it every day, right? And what is the compound effect? Meaning that you don't get the result on day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4. It's going to be week 4, week 5, week 6. That's when you have to be able to extract that, or when you're going to be able to extract that is once you've actually made the investment long term. Wow, more than anything, the one thing I've learned in watching people and also me doing it is that you earned it, right? You know to yourself that you earned it and that you now deserve whatever result that you want. The problem with most people is they deep down don't believe they deserve it. They don't deserve success, they don't deserve happiness, they don't deserve the result they want, they don't deserve to be skinny and shaved. All these things they have that are stories, but you don't understand me, I'm different, which is really totally just a story. That's bullshit. It comes down to the discipline and willpower of doing that. So what this is a framework. The framework builds certainty. The framework builds the self-worth within you to help you feel like you deserve it. And that's one thing Ed Mylett talks about. One of the biggest things that cause people success is they don't feel like they're worthy. Either they get there, they don't stay there very long, or they get there and they actually never get there is the other side of that, right? And so that's the difference between most people, right? So body, we talked about 1/2 point for sweating, 1/2 point for green smoothie. Green smoothie benefit is, right? It allows us to get greens and healthy stuff into our body because the reality is most people look at food like fuel. They look at food as just food to feel good or as a way to,
Not be hungry.
just basically
like just
for
eat.
pleasure is what I look for. And ultimately, is you want to switch the way you look at things to make it where it's, I'm searching now for pleasure, for fuel, not pleasure. And so 1/2 point equals 1 full point, right? The second one, which is, and here's the thing, what's the part about our body, is we want to get our body in check. Our goal is to cross-check our body to what? Make our body our slave in that regard. Okay, so the reality is it's just kind of, it was that same exact thing this morning. This morning my dog was up, making noises, doing all kind of shit at 4 o'clock in the morning. 4:30, she has this thing where she's like huffing and puffing and moving, and I'm like, oh, you gotta be shitting me. I'm getting up to the gym, went early, and so guess what? I finally laid there, listened, and all of a sudden, like, oh, I gotta take her out. And so I took her out. She just smelled a bunch of shit, walked around, didn't do anything. I was pissed, right? So I came back in, put the dog in, but at that point, guess what? It's not gonna happen.
Go back to bed.
I ain't going back to sleep. I mean, I tried to, but I couldn't. So I laid in bed for another hour, finally got 5:30, pissed off. Thankfully, went to the gym. Guess what? I went from tired to feeling good, having certainty, and actually stacked it afterward. My stack today was waking up at 4 o'clock for the damn dog. And my revelation was that I control my energy, I control my certainty, I control that's a decision I make way more than anything on the outside. So guess what? Once I changed my story, what happened?
You start feeling
Instantly felt better, instantly have more energy. And so the reality is, like here, we have that discipline to cross-check ourselves, but it starts going with our body. If I wouldn't have done that, I probably wouldn't have been empowered to make those type of decisions and be able to actually follow through with that. That makes sense? Second part, being, which is the actual happiness, fulfillment, other parts of those. What's the reality there?
Meditation and journaling.
Journaling, right? So why would we do meditation?
So that was kind of big this week. I've had a lot going on. There was like a day this week where I literally was like, I'm gonna kirk out and fucking everybody. I sat down literally with my phone and my headphones for 10 minutes with the Calm app.
Right.
And I felt so much clearer. Like it was like something, like it sounds so stupid.
Simple,
but it literally was so simple that I just was like, okay, fuck this, I'm fine. You know what I mean? Like just keep going.
So our goal is to create space.
It'll work it out.
That's what it does. And so no matter what goes on, what happens is we have all this pressure. That's why people snap. That's why people can't make smart decisions. That's why, and you don't realize it, but you react. And so when your client says something, you react the wrong way. When somebody else says something to you, you react the wrong way because you don't have the space yet to be able to make decisions in that space. Does that make sense? And so that's when you make bad decisions. Or the client, let's say you have something happen sideways, and you're face to face with a brand new client, you're trying to pretend like everything's okay.
Yeah.
Everything's not okay. They can read it. You think you're bullshitting, but you're not. And then what happens is that you're not able to influence that person.